We are back into it. What's happening? Happy Thursday to you, Cody K. First out the limo. What's going on? What's real? What is going on? And the business. What is happening? Good to see you. Thank you for joining me, and any other accolades that I can think of right now. What is up, man? When you're covering the content for the NFL, you just never sleep. You're never done. There's always something going on. Always something happening. And today is no different. And we even got a little nonsense going on. Even had a little nonsense going on. We'll get to that a little bit later. We want to start out with something positive. So we're not going to start out with the negative stuff. But yeah, man, it's been a good week. Got some crazy weather up here. Got a little bit of rain, things like that. But other than that, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. No complaints. I hope my granddaughter got her softball game in today. I don't know. I didn't hear back from her. She said she was supposed to contact us if it got canceled, and it started raining like around here, like around 5 o'clock. So I don't know what happened. I have to give her a shout a little bit later on, man. But oh, what is going on? Everybody is all in on this Devonta Smith business. the word came out that we are supposed to be working on a deal, but we knew that. I tend to think that Howie Roseman will be trying to get this deal done before the draft. That would make the most sense. But I think that they are trying to wait to see what's going to happen with Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson is going to control the market. He's going to set the bar. Be interesting how much he's going to get paid. He is, I believe he's 30 now. Let me see. No, I'm all messed up. Who am I thinking of? I'm thinking of Diggs. I'm thinking of Trayvon Diggs. Or I'm sorry, Stephon Diggs. Justin Jefferson is 24 years old. So yeah, he is young, he is good, and he is going to set the market. So if the Vikings don't trade him, if they keep him, regardless of what happens, there is a big contract coming. And my guess is if Devonta Smith's representation are worth their salt, they are trying to hold out until they see what Justin Jefferson gets. Because in a situation like that, the only thing you can do is compare and contrast. This is how much this guy's getting paid. This is how much my client has done. Let's compare the stats and let's make the money make sense. And that tends to happen all the time. That's what happened with Hassan Reddick to a degree. This is what you're paying all these other guys in the league. Here are my stats, and I've done it for the last 4 years or the last 3 years consecutively. Last 4 years, yeah. And the math ain't mathing. So let's make it make sense. And you got to make a decision as an organization. Do you want to pay somebody that money? And in Hassan Reddick's case, over 30 years old, do you want to have that type of investment on your team? And obviously the answer for the Eagles was no. It's that simple. Wish we could have kept him. I hope it doesn't bite us in the butt. But they chose to go in a different direction, and that different direction is called Bryce Huff. So we'll see how that works out. But as far as Devonta Smith, I think they are working on a deal. I would think that they would want to get something done before the draft, because if you're before the draft, that means you got a clean slate and you know exactly what you're dealing with when it comes to the money. Now, the one thing we always forget about, the salary cap went up this year, and most likely it is going to go up again next year. I read a couple of articles that said the cap went up to 255 million this year, and they are projecting next year in 2025 the salary cap could be anywhere between 270 to 280 million. So that's going to leave even more space and more room for you to do what you need to do. So what does that mean for us? What that means for us is, one of the worries is, if we give Devonta Smith this big contract, what's going to happen with AJ Brown? Now, when you got a little bit more money to play with because of the salary cap, that might ease some tension if he wants to stay, or, what have you. Because, I mean, honestly, I don't see, just knowing the type of dude AJ Brown is, his work ethic, the way he goes about his business, he is a no-nonsense guy. The more you watch him, the more you know he is not a diva, right? The more you know he is all about business on the field. He ain't about no nonsense. And I don't see his production going down. The only reason his production will go down is if we stop throwing on the ball. That's the only way his production is going to go down, as I see it. So Doug Whitlock is on Facebook's And Reginald Grant said Blue Hatay for the spelling error. I'm not sure what you're trying to say, but it's all good. But I appreciate you being in on the Facebooks. And I mean, we early right now. We got 10 on Twitter, just 2 on Facebooks, and the rest are on the YouTubes. And I appreciate you. You already know. So, yeah. So with AJ Brown, we might have a little bit of extra money next year. So, let's let Howie do work his magic, and we'll see how that goes. Right. I really want all of the offensive stuff to be handled and settled before the draft. That would be fun because again, I want a clear picture of what we're supposed to do. Cody K says, I'm interested to see what Howie does in the draft. Simmons isn't signed yet. Agree. I agree. And once again, and I'll mention it again, because of the prediction of the salary cap going up next year again, maybe Howie Roseman is more, or you know what? Scratch that thought. Maybe Howie Roseman is not going to make an offer to Justin Simmons until he gets Devonta Smith done. Because now, in my opinion, when you got somebody that's been in-house, like Devonta Smith, a young player, now it does, in my opinion, it does look a little disrespectful if you going outside of the family, signing somebody else, giving somebody else a whole lot of money, and then you dealing with somebody that's been on the team, you dealing with them last. You can get away with it one time, Bryce Huff, but you can't mess this one up. So, so maybe that's got something to do with it. But we're gonna find out. The one good thing about all of this stuff is going to get played out. We're all going to be sitting around. Half the people are going to be telling, I told you so. The other half are going to be like, yep, you were wrong. So it all depends on how we get there, but it's all good. It is all going to play itself out. You guys know what my train of thought is. I've been saying it the last 2 weeks. I am good with where our team is right now, and I know it's going to get better. Our offense is deadly. Without question, our offense is deadly. With the addition of Saquon Barkley across the board. Hey, Mom. So everybody say what's up to my mom. Across the board, you look at every position that we have on offense is deadly. Every position. So, we're good. We are good. We just signed. Who did we sign? We got the CJ Uzoma. He was with the Jets. Before that, he was with the Bengals, and he gave some good years with my Bengals. So now again, we got a 3-headed monster at tight end because we got Dallas Goedert, we got Albert O, and now we got Uzoma. So I'm still a big fan of Albert O. I'm very interested to see what we're gonna do with his athleticism and his size. He's the same size as Uzoma. Uzoma might be a little bit heavier, but I believe Albert O is the fastest tight end we have. So I want to see what he's going to do with all them talents, right? And that's what we need. We need that triple threat. So we need to be able to go in any direction. So yeah, we are deadly across the board. What's going on, William Galbraith? Yeah, lock up Smitty and load up on defense in the draft. I'm right there with you. Who are y'all looking at in the draft? And you know what? Let me pause for a second. And this will be a great time to mention that tomorrow night right here on Pro Fan Talk tomorrow night, 9:30, Friday Night Live. Okay? My guest is Ian Cummings. Ian Cummings has been on the show before. He is a PFN Network draft analyst. PFN.com, Pro Football Network. This dude knows his business. You guys know how I feel. I will tell you in a minute. Always try to watch somebody that watches tape. This dude watches tape, breaks down tape, goes back to rewatch to see if he can see something else. My guy Ian Cummings does the study. One of the questions I want to ask him is, bruh, how do you sleep? When do you sleep? Because that's a lot of film to be going over. A lot of film to be going over, man. I was listening to one of his podcasts today, and it's like, for him to go back and pour over the film of Drake May, Penix, all of these quarterbacks coming out, you got to know your stuff, man, and he does the homework. So I'm looking forward to that. So please join me tomorrow night, 9:30. I'm going late because that gives everybody plenty of time to do what they got to do. If you want to go out for dinner or something like that. Plus, I got people on the West Coast that sometimes 7 o'clock is too early for them. You know what I'm saying? It's 4 o'clock on the West Coast. So they still at work and stuff like that. So I push it back to 9:30, give the West Coast people some time. And now I've been finding out a lot of people from the internationals have been coming over. Philippines, Venezuela, Mexico. So yeah, man, I pushed the time back so we can get more influence from overseas and from the West Coast, man. So I got to show love. It's a lot of Eagles fans out there on the West Coast. And, hey, if you are Eagles fans and you got friends who are not Eagles fans, that's okay. I talk ball with everybody. Bring them. Tell them to come to the table, man. Definitely tell them to come to the table, especially the closer we get to the draft. I want to talk to everybody. So, but yeah, man, we've got good coverage all across our offense. The people that don't understand what's going on in Philadelphia, listen to the verbiage, and you can find out who's really here and who pays attention to what's going on here. Because the first thing everybody says is, "Oh, we don't know what Philadelphia's going to do. You just lost Jason Kelce. And it's like, stop right there. Because if y'all don't know who Cam Jurgens is, that means you're not paying attention. And really, the only people that know who Cam Jurgens is are in Philadelphia, or if you follow Philadelphia. Because if you don't realize that this dude has been handpicked by Kelce and Stoutland. They know exactly what they're getting. The dude was ready to start last year. He was ready to rock and roll last year and could have did it with no problem. But Kelce, came back, played another good year. And not for nothing, man. Let's not forget, man, Kelce, uncharacteristically of him, Kelce made a lot of mistakes this year. A lot of false starts. Some of the brotherly shove false starts were BS, and that was proven. But a lot of bad snaps, a lot of false starts, and a couple in some critical situations. So, yeah, he made some mistakes. Would I like to see him come back for one more year? Absolutely. But like I said, I think Cam Jurgens is ready. Beef Jurgens. He is ready. I got to buy some of his beef jerky too. I haven't done that yet. But yeah, Cam is ready, man. Cam is ready. So, and you will hear the verbiage from people that don't follow Philadelphia. There's some telltale signs that you can look out for when these media heads get to talking about teams and stuff like that. Do they study the team, or is somebody just feeding them a stat sheet? It's very easy to figure out nowadays. Very easy to figure out. So, we're good. We're good. You got Mailata. You got who's our left guard? Dickerson? Let me see. I want to see if they even have that right now. Eagles depth chart. 2024. Will they have it? Our lads will have it. Okay. Gordy, I'm telling you, bro. Think about it, man. When you listen to people, I've already heard 2 people go into that already. And immediately I'm like, they don't follow Philadelphia. They looking at the headlines, but they're not doing their homework. So hey, it is what it is. Yeah, Landon Dickerson is a left guard. Yep. Thank you. So we good, man. We are good to go. Tyler Steen's gonna be on the right side. Lane Johnson is not going anywhere. How long do you think Lane Johnson gonna last? How many more? I'm thinking Lane Johnson, depending on what happens next year, if he has the same situation with his hamstring and his adduct, that'll be scary because we'll be looking to will he be looking to shut it down? I don't know. Gordy, I have seen that too, but in my drafts, I'm thinking I want Cooper DeJean. That's just me. But my head is telling me that Howie is going to pick that guy from Oklahoma, Tyler Guyton. So if we get an offensive tackle, I'm good with that. Because we're going to need it eventually. We're going to need it. So we'll see what's going to happen. National people are clueless. Yeah, you're right. You're right about that, bro. So would you have hold on, somebody's saying jumped up, pardon me. Would you have and Cooper DeJean? I'm not sure what your question is, bro. Rephrase that. I want Cooper DeJean because I think he's a game changer back there in the secondary. And based on what happened last year, I don't want to be gutted in our secondary again. So I definitely don't want to be gutted like we were last year with injuries and just to have people just not ready to play. See, you were trying to say Cooper DeJean. Pardon me. Would you happen to have some Cooper DeJean? Gotcha. Okay. I got you, Bow. Yeah, you had to roll with that one a little bit more. I wouldn't have caught that. I thought you was going in a different direction, but I got you. I'm a child of the 70s, man. I got you. Yeah, DeJean can line up anywhere. He's good. The question is, that's who I would want to get. How he's gonna do. That's why I'm thinking Tyler Guyton. Based on the mock draft that I have run, Tyler Guyton is the best offensive lineman that will be available at 22. So that's how I'm running it. All of the mock drafts that I've done, we still got others. Chop Robinson's available. All of the linebackers are available. The linebackers we want to get will be available at the 50th pick. So whether it's Peyton Wilson, whether it's Edge Cooper, and a couple of other ones who are ranked above Trot Jr. So we'll have plenty of opportunities to get linebackers. I'm not worried about that at all. We'll get another linebacker, and we don't necessarily have to get one at 22. We won't get one at 22. You're talking about a shock. If we draft a linebacker at the 22 spot, that will be a shock. Cooper is not going to be available at 50. The only thing I could see possibly happening is if we trade down a couple of spots and we just go down a few spots and we get a couple of picks, maybe in the second or third or something like that. Cooper DeJean still might be available at like 25, at somewhere between 22 to 30, he might still be available. But I think somebody's going to steal him if we don't get him at 22. Same thing with Tyler with Tyler Guyton. So so I don't, Steel Chambers, Trotter Jr. Yeah. There's a couple good linebackers, man. I think Trotter Jr. he's ranked like 6th or 7th best. So, it all depends on what somebody wants. It all depends on what somebody likes, what they saw at the combine. So, Edgerrin Cooper will be there at 50, at that 50 spot. Edgerrin Cooper will be there. So, let me see. Did I say, dang it? I keep telling, I got to all these daggone tabs. I got to save all of these bookmarks. I'm using like Chrome on my main computer, and I got Firefox over here, and my bookmarks don't transfer over. That's Fantasy Pros. That's not what I'm looking for. Let me see. Pro Fan Network. Because they got the best, in my opinion, they got the best mock draft simulator. I'll bring y'all into this. Just messing around. I'm just messing around a little bit. Because I'm gonna do this right here, and we can roll this together. Ain't no biggie. I'm gonna be doing this again tomorrow. So, but I'm gonna do my mock draft after I talk with Ian. So, not taking any trades. Now look at this. This is what I'm talking about. So, Tampa Bay wants to trade. So let's try this. Let's take this trade. We only move back 4 picks, and we get another pick at 120. So let's accept this trade, and let's see what happens, right? So we can drop back another one, but let's not do that. Let's reject this trade, and let's see who is available. Let's look at all offensive tackle. Tyler Guyton is still available, so we got an extra pick and got Tyler Guyton. Let's look at defense. Cornerbacks. DeJean is gone. Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jay Daniels, Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors, Joe Alt, J.J. McCarthy, Terrion Arnold, Fashanu, Adunze, Brian Thomas Jr., Dallas Turner, Fuaga, Jared Verse. That's the woof. That boy looks good. Brock Bowers to the Colts. Ooh. I hope that don't happen, because that would be nasty. Brock Bowers and Anthony Richardson on the same team? Good Lord. Latu, Fontenot, and Marius Mims. That's the one everybody wants. Kenyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean. Green Bay snuck up and got him. So, but okay. So then what we would do is I'm going follow the plan. I'm getting Tyler Guyton. Bam. All right. Now we still at 50. Somebody wants to give us, Pittsburgh wants to move up a slot. I'm going to reject that. All right. Now who we looking at? Now let's go back defense. Let's look at the linebackers. Who's available? What I tell you? Peyton Wilson, Cedric Gray, Junior Colson, Trevin Wallace, Trot Jr., James Williams, the kid out of Miami. So you still got good options at linebacker, because if this is available and we want to go linebacker, I'm going Peyton Wilson rather than Trot Jr. I'm going Peyton Wilson. Here's why I would go Peyton Wilson. Look at his size. 6'3", 230. I want that extra 3 inches, and I want that wingspan. So, good coverage. But some people think he might be a little bit too small. But you look at Trot Jr., same thing. He only 6', 6', 228. And you got to remember, if you coming into camp slim. You've been working out. You're going to lose that water weight that first week. So if he 228, right now, maybe he's 225. That's running back size. So again, Peyton Wilson, 233. Let's just round that down to 230. 234. Let's round that up to 235. Junior Colson from Michigan, 240. That's what I like. I want somebody that's a little bit thick because we was getting ran all over last year. We couldn't make tackles last year. That was the problem. So I like fast. Speed kills. But sometimes you got to deal with physics. And you know how I feel, man. I do not want to lose that battle of physics because we was getting our ass kicked all last year when it came to that. And what I mean by that is Peyton Wilson is, let's say he 235, 230. Edge Cooper is the same. Trot Jr. is the same. And you giving up 100 pounds to a pulling guard, who going to win that battle? Who's going to win that battle? The only way a smaller player can win the battle against an offensive tackle or an offensive guard that's pulling is if that linebacker gets to the spot on the line of scrimmage first. That's the only way. He can still get blown out. But if a guard is pulling through the hole and a linebacker gets to the hole first, a guard can still blow the linebacker up. But the timing is jacked up because now you got somebody in the hole. Because at worst, he going to block him. Maybe the guy falls down, but he's falling down in the hole. So as a running back, when I see that, you got half a second. So if the linebacker gets to the hole first, the pulling guard or the tackle can still make the block, but he's still in the hole. So me as a running back, I have to go in a different direction. I got to make a different move. I got to cut, spin, bounce it outside. I got to do something, but I can't hit that hole because I got two bodies in the hole. And remember what I always say, you don't have to make the play to make the play. So if you got good enough speed, if Peyton Wilson's got good enough speed, or Edge Cooper, or Trot Jr., or Wallace, or Colson, or Gray, or whoever you want to pick, the only way that works out for you when it comes to winning the battle of physics is if you get to the spot. And you got to remember, linebackers don't know where the play is going. So that it happens sometimes, but it doesn't happen all the time. If you look at film of oh my God, why am I drawing blank? What's the guy that just retired with the Rams? Defensive tackle. Aaron, that's what happens when you get old. You can't remember shit. Aaron Donald. Good Lord. Aaron Donald would beat people to the hole because he was that quick. He was that quick. TJ Edwards was like that. And TJ Edwards was big enough to where he could take on the block. And again, even if you lose the battle, as long as you clog up that hole, you don't have time to clear out. It's not, I don't see too many Larry Allens anymore. Larry Allen was the size of Jordan Davis, but faster. And you got somebody like that clearing a hole, you're not going to win that battle. So it's you beat physics with film study, knowing where the play is going, recognizing what's going on before the snap of the ball. You see a couple of times where linebackers will do that. And they'll make the play and they'll get to the hole and they'll blow it up because they are in a space that you're not supposed to be there. So when the quarterback looks, sometimes that happened to us last year. Look at all of the screens that we ran last year and how they was either deflected. We threw 2 picks on screens because it was sniffed out by the defense and somebody was in there and it was always somebody knocking it down. We threw 2 deflection picks on screenplays, strictly from film study. The end coming down, getting his hands up in the air, and stepping right into the passing lane. We couldn't even throw the ball less than 5 yards because there was somebody in the. They recognized what was coming. That goes back into no variations on our passing offense, no motions, no shifts, nothing like that. That's where that stuff comes into play. You think the play is going over there, you put one man in motion, and it screws up the numbers. So, you got to figure out what you're doing. Where are you supposed to be? Are you dropping back in zone? Is a man coming over now that he's past the in man on the line of scrimmage? What are you supposed to do as a linebacker or an edge? It changes your responsibilities. So we had none of that. Jordan Davis is not soft. Jordan Davis is just he don't have his win yet, but he'll get there. Jordan Davis is going to be a lot better this year than he was last year, and he was a lot better last year than he was his rookie year. So trust me on that. I don't know what you think soft is, and I don't know what you expect from Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis is a big body. What Jordan Davis does is Jordan Davis can initiate a double team and they not be able to move him. Jordan Davis is somebody that's probably not going to make a ton of tackles. He takes up space. If he's taking up 2 blocks and they're not getting any movement on him, somebody's free. Somebody's coming free. That's what Jordan Davis is. If he gets a tackle for a loss or he's got a couple of good hustle plays, I'm good with that. But you got to understand what you're asking for at that position. Jalen Carter is the same way. Jalen Carter reminds me more of Aaron Donald. Jordan Davis isn't just a huge body that you cannot move. When he's stout and got his feet set and got his wind about him, he's not worn out. Jordan Davis is a beast, man. Y'all forget that dude is 340 pounds and runs a 4.7. Nah. Jordan Davis is not soft, bro. We will agree to disagree, Rob. And I keep saying this, Jordan Davis is, I want to see what's going to happen with Jordan Davis and Vic Fangio. Vic Fangio makes everything better to me. Vic Fangio is like bacon, man. Vic Fangio is like bacon. If your sandwich is just okay, put a couple slices of bacon on it. Makes everything better. So, yeah, man, you got to understand what the responsibilities are, bro. So, but let me say it like this. I understand why you would say that, but I don't agree. I think Jordan Davis is fine. He's going to do what he's supposed to do, and he is going to take up space because somebody's going to try to run on him. Somebody's going to, he is going to take on a double team, and he wins one-on-one battles. He wins those battles. If the play's going the other way, the play's going the other way. But he can win the one-on-one battles, man. So whenever you have somebody on the defensive line, like a Aaron Donald, like a Chris Jones, like a Hassan, like a Fletch, you got to game plan that guy. The only thing you can do when you game plan a defensive lineman is double team him. That's the only thing you can do. So anytime you as a defensive lineman, you bring on double teams, somebody's free. And that is that's the chess move that is consistent across the board in the NFL. If you get a double team, somebody's free. Somebody's coming free. It's the same thing on the blitz. If the defense blitzes, somebody's free. That's what a hot route is. Throw the ball to where they ain't. That's what we used to say. Throw the ball to where they ain't. If a linebacker blitzes, that means there's a hole in the defense where that blitzer came from. You want to throw the ball to that. That's why receivers, a lot of times, if you're in a good offense which we wasn't last year. If you are in a good offense, this is what they used to teach us. Part of your job, if you are a wide receiver or if you are a running back, let's say they shift me out on the slot and I'm in the formation and I'm just to the outside, like they do with Debo and Kittles. Sometimes they have two running back, or I'm sorry, two tight ends on the same side. So now that second tight end, Kittles, or you switch, will become the slot just by position. And what you got to do is you got to be able to recognize if is a linebacker creeping up? Is he the hot guy? If I'm on the line of scrimmage and I'm a receiver, I have to be able to recognize the hot. Doesn't matter if I'm a tailback or running back. It all comes down to where am I when the ball is snapped. If they move me in a slot formation where Debo is, or if they switch it up and now you switch your Kittles is over there, the same rules apply. You looking for the hot route. If the linebacker that's covering me, if he takes off, the first thing I'm doing is looking for the ball. First thing I'm doing is looking, because now what they got to do, somebody got to cover. If he's blitzing, they're either giving up that space or somebody's going to cover for him. Usually if they cover for him, they might have a man up high to come down and take that spot. He might not come all the way down, but he's watching. So you might have a small zone in between. It's all a chess match, man. It's all the matchups. All the matchups. The same way on the flip side, if you're looking at it from an offensive standpoint, you watch when Debo gets in that slot. Now, depending on what the defense is, if a linebacker slides out with Debo, that's bad for business. That's bad for business. He go run a quick slant, and you let a linebacker. How do you think he scored that touchdown on us? Because he was being guarded by Zach Cunningham. And not only did he caught the ball in 2 steps. He was the hot route. And then Zach Cunningham couldn't make the tackle. He breaks the tackle and goes right down the middle of the field for a touchdown. That is a mismatch. If you can shift and go in motion and make Debo line up on a linebacker, that's what you want to do. That's how you win those battles. So it's all about getting the mismatches. It's all about getting the right personnel in the right formation on offense as well as defense. And this whole conversation started, Robert, with you talking about him soft, and it's like that's what his job is to do. His job ain't to make every tackle. His job is to take up space, and hopefully he can get a 2-on-1. If he gets a 1-on-1, he should win. If he gets a 2-on-1, his teammates should win. That's the way it goes. So, but we got all of that. And on top of that, now we got a linebacker that's faster than some running backs. We got Devin White that's 4.4 speed at linebacker. So now what that does is you don't necessarily have that mismatch, that speed mismatch that you normally have at linebacker. Now, here's the difference when you're talking about linebackers. You guys know I've said this before. Linebackers can run, but they cannot cover. There is a difference. Linebackers are fast. Linebackers are physical. Devin White is fast and physical. But when you are trying to cover, that means you got to backpedal. That means you got to open or close your hips, change directions on the dime. And most linebackers, even the fast ones, cannot do that. The best linebackers, the best coverage linebackers are those linebackers that used to be like cornerbacks or safeties when they played in high school. I always use the example, my main man, one of my best friends, Willie T. William Thomas was a safety and also played quarterback. So he knew how to change his hips, drive on the ball, change direction. He could do all of that stuff like a free safety could. And he still, even at 6'3", and I think T was playing at like 225, 230, he was still fast and had them long arms. So you got to get into your skill set, and you got to game plan that, because you can shut down the offense depending on who's your Devin White runs a 4-4. So let's say he can run with anybody. Who are we playing? Right? Baltimore, they're not putting a running back in pass patterns. Now that they got King Henry, they're going to be smash mouth. They're going to be smash mouth, man. I'm late. Too warm to hide earbuds under a beanie. Yeah, man, we getting that warm weather 88. It's becoming shorts weather right now. So, but yeah, man, on our defense, man, we got defense. The linebackers are still a question. I think Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, if they are on the field at the same time, that's a problem. And now, let's not forget. Now you got Jordan Davis in the middle. Jalen Carter's going to be on one side or the other. I don't know if they're going to keep Jalen head up or if they're going to move him and tackle and make Big Jordan the nose guard. I don't know what they're going to do. But now you got Bryce Huff over there. And you still got Milt Williams. You still got Josh Sweat. You still got Ojomo. So we still got some players on our defensive line. The only, I guess, question mark we have is what is Devin White going to do and what is Zach Bond going to do? And listen, they can talk all of that. Once again, if you're not paying attention, Zach Bond's a special teams player from New Orleans. Got to look at the tape. That dude is a backup, and every time he got on the field, he made stuff happen. He didn't get a lot of snaps. He got caught up in the numbers game. And it happens like that sometimes. He got caught up in the numbers game. Maybe somebody ahead of him was on the contract and playing well and all of that kind of, you never know what's going to happen in those situations. So, but I know when he got on the field, he made some things happen. Now he's going to have an opportunity to start. The person that you got to worry about, are they going to step on the field, is Nakobe Dean, because he's the one with the least amount of experience now. He lost a whole year of experience. 88s, 100%, bro. 100%. Where's my, there we go. 100%, dude. Ojomo is no joke. He got caught in the numbers game. Milt Williams was getting rotation. Josh Sweat was getting rotation. Fletch was still getting rotation. Jalen Carter was getting. So who he taking over? Now he'll have the opportunity to get more snaps, and we gonna see what's what. But I'm with you 100%. Ojomo, we gonna sneak him in. It's like people gonna be, where did this kid come from? He been here for the last 2 years. He just hadn't got enough snaps. Now we seeing what's going on. Now you're gonna really see some people show up and show out. So I'm liking, the more I talk about it, every time I talk about it, the more I like it. The more I like our defense. The more I talk about it, the more I like it. So I think we're in a good spot. I think that the people on the outside of Philadelphia that just get the stat sheets, that's not enough. It's not enough. So I think we so back to the, I got on a rant right there, but back to our pick. We are picking, this is what? We are at number 50 right now, right? So we got pick number 50 and we got pick 52. So you know what? Let's just play a fan favorite. Let's go ahead. See, I don't want to do that. I want to do that. I was going to say, let me go ahead and select Jeremiah Trotter Jr. But if this is what we have right now, I'm taking Peyton Wilson. I'm taking Peyton Wilson because I know in Vic Fangio's defense, he is going to require your linebackers to be on the line of scrimmage sometimes and sometimes play back in a lot of coverage. So we need those fast linebackers that can be physical. So I'm going with Peyton Wilson. Now we right back at 53, right? You still got Cedric Gray. You can get another linebacker if you want to. But now who we looking at? Who we looking at? Damn, Michael Penix is still on the board. um, could we be looking at a cornerback, Kamari Lassiter, that guy from Georgia? Oh, just watching tape on him. He reminds me of Avonte Maddox. Plays physical, plays big, but he's not that big. Let me see. I would go with Kamari. DJ James. I like DJ James' tape. See, my thing is this. I like Kalen Carson. This is what I'm looking for a DB, and this is why I like Cooper DeJean. Kamari Lassiter, 186. To me, that's light. Kalen Carson, he's right at 200 pounds. To me, that's the bar. I want you at least 195. 190, 195. You got to bring some weight when you're playing cornerback because you're going to have to come up and make business decisions. Let me see. Gordy, what about wide receiver? You think I should right here at 50? We got another pick at 57. We got another pick at 57 based on this mock because I think I traded that pick. So we can get a linebacker later. But I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go. See, man, I'm gonna go with my gut, man. I'm gonna go with Kalen Carson. I'm gonna go with the bigger, more physical DB. Let me see. What's the speed looking like? See, I don't want wiry defensive backs. That's what Bradbury is. He's a wiry defensive back. And I need somebody that can come up and be physical because that's what we're gonna need. So he's another one. Crazy, got good speed, good skills, but he's just here's what I see. Look, and I don't count this as a plus, and this is just my opinion. Watch this. Physical cornerback who, despite his size, isn't afraid to lower his shoulder and bring the heat. Now, when I always see people say lower the shoulder, that means to me, he lowers the head. Lowers the head. I don't think we need a running back. See, that's why it's a mock draft. I'm the GM. And I go by, I'm looking at what we need. I don't think we need a running back. We got 4 of them already. We'll get into what just happened to Boston Scott, but I don't think we need. Why do we need to draft a running back? 88. Who was the first pick? First pick was Caleb Williams. You talking about the overall or the first pick for us? I picked Tyler Guyton. I think that's what Howie Roseman is going to do. So, all right. I'll play the grades and I'll go with Kamari Lassiter. Now we back. Look at this. Somebody wants pick 57. Minnesota's willing to offer us 108, 129, and 177. Now, if this happens in real life, I'm guessing that Howie would take something like this. For sure. He would definitely take something like this. But I'm going to take the pick. And now I will go and get a receiver. I don't think Western Kentucky. We don't need no big ones. He's got good speed, but I need a blazer, man. I like his size, 6'1". I like Purcell. I like size. I'm a size guy, size and speed. If you 4'4s and you over 6 foot, that's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah, he doesn't have breakaway. You know what I mean? But that's somebody that can play in the slot. 215. I wonder how he looks. It's kind of yoked. That could be a AJ Brown Jr. So let's go with Malachi, right? Now we going. Next pick is 161. That's what, round 5. So yeah, now you get what you get. Now you get the best on the board. So what would be our next pick all the way at 161? What are we looking at next? So now we got a slot. Let's look at our picks. We got Tyler Guyton at 26. We traded. We got Peyton Wilson at 50. Kamari Lassiter at 53. Malachi Corley at 57. So we got an offensive tackle, a linebacker, a cornerback, and a wide receiver. What do we need at 161? Give me some ideas. What are y'all thinking? People on Twitter, what are we thinking on Twitter? What are we looking for at that pick at 161? Talk to me. Safety or special teams, a tight end. We got tight ends, man. We got 3 tight ends. We got Albert O. We just signed Uzoma, and we just got what you call it? We still got Dallas Goedert. So we got 3 phenomenal tight ends, bro. I don't think we need to draft the tight end. We'll agree to disagree on that one, Gordy. Special safety and special teams, Cody K. No. I'm looking at defense. Like, should we get another linebacker? I don't know. Grab this kid out of Penn State. I'm gonna get Daquan Hardy at 5'9". Oh my god. So you got, Curtis Jacobs, 6'1", 240, 6', 230. I like the size. I want somebody big. I want somebody big, man. I want somebody big and physical. Yeah, Calcaterra. Either Stoll or Calcaterra is gonna get cut. I like both of them, but I just think right now between Dallas Goedert, Albert O, and Uzoma, we got way too much size and speed. So we'll see. But who's our 61? Yeah, Stoll is gone. Okay. So yeah, we got 4. Yeah, we got 4 tight ends now. That's right. Stoll went to the Giants. You're right. You're right. My bad. So we already got 4 tight ends. We don't need nobody. James Williams, linebacker. He's a what do they have him listed as? Is he a safety or wait or a? I don't think so. You know what, Gordy? I haven't seen him. I saw his highlights when he was with Denver, and I was like, yo, his size and speed and the way he can catch the ball. I'm trying to figure out like what the problem is. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like um why he didn't get more burn. You got Mason McCormick, South Dakota State, Darius Henderson, the guy from Michigan, Dylan McMahon, 6'4", 309. Another 6'4", 309. You got big boys in there, so you're gonna get what you get. So all right, we'll keep get another edition of Stoutland University. and we'll go to kid from South Dakota State. And then we got one more pick at 171. Oh, we got one. Oh, we've got the trade. So we got 3 more picks. We got 3 more picks. So we can do a whole bunch of stuff, man. Shoot. So all right. So yeah, I just got another guard. I'm trying to think, is there anything else I could do or I should do? Give Stout a play toy. Yeah, so you know what? Let's do this. Kid from Washington State. I'm gonna pick an athlete. I'm gonna get the kid from Washington State. And then so now we got an edge. You want to get another safety? What's our size looking at? Now, see, that's what I'm talking about at safety. 6'2", 225. That's what I'm talking about. Right? See, I want somebody big. I want a wingspan that can go up and if they can't get quite over there, you got a little bit of you got that extra inch that you can knock some stuff down. That's what I'm talking about. 6 foot and above at safety. That's exactly what I like. All right, so we're gonna give Jalen Charles, safety from Missouri, a shot. And I think we still got 210. At this point, it don't even matter. Running backs, Dejoun Edwards, running. You know what? Why not get another kid from Georgia? He too small. He too small. Our receiver, Nice Smith, Josephus. All right, let's you know what? Let's stack them up. Let's stack them up. Let's see if we can find a get somebody to back up Big Jordan on the other side. So we gotta think we're good to go. Not bad. Tyler Guyton, Peyton Wilson, Kamari Lassiter, Malachi Corley, Mason McCormick, Brennan Jackson, Jalen Carleys, and Nathan Thomas. 1, 2, 6, 8 picks. Can deal with that. Can deal with that. I'll download this one. Is everybody in agreement that Caleb Williams is the lock for number 1? Nothing crazy happening. So appreciate that, Gordy. I'm gonna do another one tomorrow. But it's funny with the mock drafts, man, because even just messing around and playing, it's like this is what I would do. But what would Howie do? Like, what do you think? Because I get conflicted on trying to, just have fun with it, and then really trying to think like what's really going to make our team better. What's realistically what is Howie going to do? That's always in the back of my head, man. So I always think that's funny. So one of those things you just deal with. So, but yeah, Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, Marvin Harrison Jr. Some people think that the Patriots at number 3 are going to take Marvin Harrison Jr. They are not going to get a quarterback, which would be interesting. Scott, what are you, Brock Bowers, man? Dude, we are already full at tight end, bro. We are full at tight end. Dallas Goedert will be back. We just signed Uzoma. We still got Albert O, and we still got Calcaterra. So we are full at tight end. Why I don't think we're going to draft a tight. I wouldn't draft him. Somebody's going to get a primetime player. Nah, the best player in the draft, in my opinion, is probably Marvin Harrison Jr. So we will agree to disagree on that one, brother. But he is, in my opinion, he is the best tight end prospect since Jeremy Shockey. Because when Jared McShockey was drafted in the first round, and when he was with the Giants, he was as advertised. That dude was a beast. That dude would have been better than Gronk, in my opinion, if he would have stayed healthy. Jeremy Shockey was a force. He had the swag. He had everything Gronk could do. Except he looked like some surfer kid from California. He went to Miami, I think he did. But Jeremy Shockey was the truth. And just like everybody else, when you got somebody that talented and your knee give out, sometimes you ain't never the same. Yeah, man, that was nasty. Shockey was the truth, man. That was a real dude. That was a grown-ass man right there. And he let you know. He came out talking smack. He had the long hair, the mullet going. Shockey wasn't no joke. Shockey wasn't no joke, man. So, but yeah, like 88s. Bowers is cold, man. I'm with you 100%, 88s. Bowers is cold-blooded. He is a bad dude, but I think we would, Cooper DeJean, another offensive tackle to back up for when, Lane finally walks away. So, I don't know. I think they will get. I think they will eventually get another wide receiver or sign somebody. I think they'll end up getting a wide receiver after the draft, sign an undrafted free agents, man. So, and now you got all of these. You can find so many good players now at these camps that people that just slipping through the cracks, especially after you had all of that stuff going on with after the whole Brock Purdy situation. Now everybody's looking for, not that they weren't before, but now everybody's looking for that diamond in the rough. So, it's interesting, man. What do you want to do? What do you want to do if you had all of that power? Like I'm looking at the situation like down in Dallas right now, and I'm like, what the hell are they doing? Now you get all of these rumors about Micah Parsons and all that kind of stuff. And wouldn't it be funny if Howie just gathered a shitload of picks and traded for Micah Parsons? That would be hilarious, dude. Who's going to be the first running back off the board? That's a good question, man. That's a good question. I don't know. So, I mean, and it's all, I mean, we saying all of this stuff now. And all it takes is one person in the top 10 to go off script. Because almost every mock draft that I've seen, you got Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, Marvin Harrison, Malik Neighbors, Joe Alt. When it get past number 6, then it changes up a little bit. Are the Raiders going to take JJ McCarthy or a different quarterback, or are they going to get Penix? What do they like? So, as long as everything goes on script, because the minute somebody changes or trades out, or if somebody offers one of these teams the bank to move up, and it just basically turns over the apple cart, man. anything can happen. Anything can happen. So takes off for us. The Bears have been killing mock drafts for decades. You know what, man? I was kind of I like Caleb Williams. I like him sticking to his, he's unapologetic for what he's been doing. So I wish him success. But there's a small part of me that I'm like, man, I hope the Bears like tank for what they did to Justin Fields, man. Because I'm biased because he's from Ohio State. I'm an Ohio boy. So yeah, that was NFL that stands for not for long, man. It is a nasty business. And some of the things they do is just straight up. Oh, it's scandalous, man. It's scandalous. You've been running for your life for 2 years. And then they tell you they're going to trade you. And they start putting all these pieces together, man. I'm like, I would be mad as hell. Oh, I'll tell you what, though. There's nothing more dangerous than a player with a chip on his shoulder with something to prove. Nothing more dangerous. You look at the situation that happened with look at Geno Smith. Look what he did. Now he's a meme. They wrote me off, but I ain't right back. Telling you, man, all you need is a change in environment sometimes and somebody to give you a legit opportunity. I'm still waiting to see what's going to happen with Trey Lance down in Dallas. He ain't going to stay in Dallas. But what is Dallas going to do if they don't pay Dak Prescott this money? Are they going to let him walk and get a year with Trey Lance? I don't know. I don't know what the hell Dallas is doing. I don't know what they put in the Jerry Jones medication. Maybe he got too much going on. I don't know. But it is weird down there right now. I've never seen it like this. It is weird, man. I started listening to when I really started listening to sports talk radio. I wasn't listening to Philadelphia. I wasn't listening to 97.5. Matter of fact, 97.5 didn't exist yet. It was all WIP, and I didn't listen to WIP. This is when, and then let me tell you again, let me show my age. My bad, Bow. Whatever they put in his water, man, whatever they put in his, his scotch or whatever it is that he drink, man, something ain't right. But when I started listening to sports talk radio, this is I'm gonna show my age. Mark Cuban had not sold radio.com yet. Is that what it was called? Was it radio.com? He had not sold it yet. That's when he made his money. He made the online streaming and radio. And what I used to do was I used to listen to The Ticket in Dallas. Because I was a Dallas Stars fan. I used to watch the Flyers and the Dallas Stars. And that was when that year Dallas won the cup. And I used to listen to the sports talk radio, and they would talk Dallas, the Dallas Stars, and I used to listen to all of that kind of stuff down there on The Ticket. Rocco Pendola, all of them dudes down there. And I used to hear, and I used to understand how they used to drink the Kool-Aid down in Dallas, man. And it was something special. But it was always like that. But I'm saying that to say you get one perspective from the outside looking in. And even when people call in, and sometimes they get on the radio and they call into different shows, and somebody from New York or San Francisco or, Minnesota will call in, and you might have that back and forth because somebody that used to be here, it's just kind of like when I have when Jason Dunn comes on. Jason Dunn is my friend. He played 4 years with the Eagles, but he played 8 years with the Chiefs. So he is a Chiefs fan. He's still an Eagles fan, but most of the stuff he does is with the Chiefs. So sometimes me and him talk, but his perspective is going to be different because he spends more time on the Chiefs. He runs a podcast, Chief Concerns, and that's what his purview is a little bit different. So you always get that outside perspective from the outside looking in, and most of them people don't really know what's going on. They don't. So, but I mentioned this earlier. I don't know if y'all saw the news story. Like, what are they doing to my guy Boston Scott? They done already gave his number away. They gave it to Tyrion Davis Pierce. Or is it Price or Pierce? Tyrion Davis Price. So they gave 35 away. So suffice it to say that it doesn't look like the Boston Strangler is returning. The giant, the what do they call him? The giant killer. Got the wrong city. So yeah, Boston Scott is a free agent. It would not surprise me if he stays in the division. I could see him getting picked up by Washington or somewhere, but I hope somebody picks him up. He's a good back. We didn't use him right. The only thing he did was when he had his opportunity, he made the most of it. But for some reason, man, there's some people that teams don't want to commit to him. They can show and prove and do everything they're supposed to do, but for whatever reason, teams don't want to commit. And sometimes people get burned on that. It's like you got a guy that's every time you give him the ball or put the ball in his hands, he makes stuff happen. San Francisco almost did that because that was a very interesting take because I watched or listened actively to San Francisco content creators at the beginning of the year last year, and they did not, for the most part. They had questions about Brock Purdy. They were looking for a reason to get rid of him. They were looking for it. And he didn't give them one. He just kept on balling. So, in spite of all of the nonsense that we talk smack with Debo and all of that kind of stuff, at the end of the day, I was rooting, unless they was playing us, I was rooting for Brock Purdy because that's another kid that slipped through the cracks. Shout out to everybody that went to a small school or a mid-major or any other school where they want to give you excuses as to why you might not make it. So, Purdy is not Cousins. Purdy has already won more playoff games than Cousins. Do you realize Cousins has made all of this money? He's made over $400 million in the NFL, and Kirk Cousins has only won one playoff game. He has one W in playoff wins, and he just keep making money. What's going on, Jabril? Glad you can make it, bro. Got to go work out. Go get your workout in, man. I mean, I don't listen. I don't get into the whole game manager. I don't get into that argument because to me, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Whatever you got, if your quarterback is best as a game manager and that's what gets you dubs, that's what you do. If your quarterback is better running the RPO and that gets you dubs, that's what you do. If your quarterback is better sitting back in the pocket and slinging the ball 40 times a game, that's what you do. There is no recipe for winning. You do what you got to do. Everybody, it works different. What you talking about, Brian? Extending Smitty's a mistake. Philly can't commit that much to wide receiver position. Trade Smitty to Denver for Surtain, both on option. Smitty to offensive coach, Surtain to the D. Man, are you crazy? You got a bona fide number one receiver along with our other number one receiver. He's younger, and he's already said that he wants to stay in Philly. Why would you get rid of him? A bird in the hand beats two in the bush, bro. Now you got to go out and try to find another wide receiver. And I think And Bob, hey, if that's your opinion, you welcome to it. I just don't agree with it. Because, and here's what people don't, or it's not that they don't realize it. I think people forget this. Um, just because you can get a receiver as a top pick or something like that, doesn't mean it's gonna pan out. Does not mean it's gonna pan out. It is quite possible. I don't believe it, but the possibility exists that Marvin Harrison Jr. could be a dud. Caleb Williams could be a dud. Jaden Daniels could be a dud. Malik Neighbors could be a dud. That possibility exists. It just doesn't translate to the next level for whatever reason. Justin Fields. People think Justin Fields was a running quarterback, and he wasn't. When he was at Ohio State, that joker was in the pocket. He did not run a lot at Ohio State. Not a lot at all. He was a pocket passer. It just, for whatever reason, it just didn't translate. A lot of it can be coaches. A lot of it could be, and I said this before, the right player at the right place at the right time with the right people makes all the difference in the world. You can be at the right place, but be under the wrong coach. You can have the right coach in the wrong system. You can have the right system on the wrong team. Everything has to align. You, as good as A.J. Brown is, as good as he is, why would Tennessee let him go like that? But you see what happened. He came to Philadelphia. He was in the right place with the right people, with the right coach, and the right quarterback. Who was his quarterback in Tennessee? Was it Sam Darnold? But there was plenty of people that was trying to tell you Sam Darnold and many others were better than Jalen Hurts. Well, then how come when A.J. Brown gets to our system, even last year, with Brian Johnson and the way our offense fell apart, you still had a stretch where A.J. Brown did something that had never been done in the NFL. So we had to be doing something right, and he still has to catch the ball. Somebody's got to get him the ball. So all of the promise they had in Tennessee, it just didn't translate. Now, that's not on A.J. Brown. That's more on the quarterbacks, but still. Wasn't that Sam Darnold? That was Tannehill? Was it Tannehill that said that when he had the whole controversy where he said he don't want to train nobody? Was that Tannehill that said that? It wasn't his job to train his backup or something goofy like that. It was just real. It wasn't a good look for him because he wasn't that great anyways. Now, if you were to put Tannehill and Jalen Hurts side by side, if you just checking off the boxes, Tannehill's going to win every time. Bigger, stronger arm, all of those intangibles that they knock mobile quarterbacks for. Let me see real quick. Let me see something. Let me go to hold on for a second. Let's look up stats. Player search. Ryan Tannehill. I just want to see this. Just want to see. Is it Tannehill? T-E-A-N-E. Yep. Tennessee Titans. There we go. So let's look at his stats. 6'4", 217. Right? He got the size. He got everything you want. A veteran. Came in the league in 2012. Spent most of his time with the Dolphins. Got to Tennessee in 2019. Got hurt in 2019, but 20, 21, 22. 22, he got hurt again. He got the same numbers. He got the same numbers in 2014 and 2015 were his best years in Miami. He threw for just over 4,000 yards in 2014, and he threw for 4,200 in 2015. How many picks did he have, though? 12 and 12 both years. So that's not bad. How many touchdowns he had? 27 and 12 and 24 and 12. So that's a pretty good ratio. That's a pretty good ratio. His worst year, he threw 14 picks in 2021. So even when AJ Brown was down there and they had King Henry. So why is it when he comes here and he's got a running quarterback, why is he breaking records? You can even go back in 21 when nobody thought about Jalen Hurts like that. And we still had Devonta Smith set a record for a rookie receiver. Devonta Smith had what, 700 something yards? So that was a rookie record for the Eagles. So, yeah. Yeah. Bob, we can't really. You ain't wrong, bro. You ain't wrong. So, but well, you can't say he can't draft because, and I'm changing the sample size because now he's doing things different. His track record on cornerbacks in the past has been okay, but he's gotten the free agents that we've had, but getting Slay. And let's not forget, man, Bradbury was good our Super Bowl year. That was not a mistake. When we re-signed Bradbury, that was not a mistake. Not at all. Keely Ringo was going to pay dividends. Sidney Brown was the right pick. You didn't think Josiah Scott was the right pick, but he's turned it around. Even whether it's a pick or it's a free agent, he's still responsible for that. So I'm looking at it in the macro over a longer period of time. Maybe he hasn't had much success, but in the last 2 to 3 years, it's been a lot better. It's been a hell of a lot better. So you can't really get mad at that. Can't really get mad at that. So, what did I have written down? Oh yeah. We just real quick. We got to talk about the Love Hurts tour. Get your tickets today. They came out and announced that we are going to Brazil and we would be playing Green Bay. Now, I don't know what is the deal with the non-green stuff. What is with that? Eagles versus Green Bay in Brazil. Something about the green. They don't want them to wear the green uniforms. Is that right? I don't know. I'm trying to look for something else. I haven't seen anything else for it, so it may have been somebody being sarcastic or something like that. I don't know. Let me see. All right, here we go. This is from the Guardian. Packers and Eagles to play. Let me bring y'all in on this. Packers and Eagles to play NFL season opener at Brazil club with ban on green. Why is there a ban? Well, so as much as Apollo will mark the first time since 1970 that the NFL has played a Friday night game on the season opener. The game will take place at Corinthians Arena. If you haven't seen that stadium, it's pretty cool. Check it out on like Google Maps or something. Robert, I agree with you 100%, bro. Absolutely. Corinthians has an informal ban on the color green. worn by their bitter rivals, Palmeiras, around the club. The Packers and Eagles both wear green, with the Eagles set to wear the color as the home team. In 2021, Corinthians fined their striker Joe for wearing green boots. Joe later said the boots were actually a turquoise blue. Okay. I don't know what they're gonna do with that. Are they both gonna wear like the black unis with the green trim? And what's Green Bay gonna do? So I don't know. That'll be funny. That will be funny. Uh, that's interesting. But so now we got an opponent. I don't know what happened with all them people that was talking about the Browns. I don't know if somebody leaked something too soon or what happened with that. So to a no green zone. Yeah, but dude, I thought the same thing. Like what's up with that? Did he just not know or like I don't understand that. I don't know what he's gonna do because you paying a lot of money to go over there. And now I've said this before, and you can look on the what am I saying? What am I saying? Oh, when the Eagles, when any NFL team plays in London, go back and look on YouTube, London, Germany. Look at the international games where they play, and look in the stands. The teams that are playing the game, a lot of their merch is not in the stands, it's everybody else. You get specks. If the Eagles are playing, if they were in London, you would see specks of green, but it wouldn't be a sea of green and black or anything like that. You got everybody, you got Dallas, you got Denver, you got Pittsburgh, you got all the teams are represented because over there, they buy whatever's available from whatever team. They don't care. And then they wear it to the game because they're going to an NFL game. They're not going to watch the Steelers. They're not going to watch the Eagles. They're going to see an NFL game. So they buy whatever is available. So there's no home advantage when you play overseas. So it'll be interesting. Damn, it's going to be interesting to see what they do with the merch. It's very interesting to see what they're going to do with the merch. Because if it's like a local thing, that's interesting, man. So we'll see. We'll see what they do with it. We'll see what they do with it. My opinion, the Eagles are trying to make Hurts a pocket passer. If they take running out of bag, it's a huge mistake. Hurts struggles at reading D. If he's not mobile, the D needs to read him. I don't necessarily. Yeah, let me say it like this. You're not wrong. They are trying to make him stay in the pocket more. However, because I said this last year, and the Eagles just didn't do it. They just didn't do it. You can still be a good passer, and Jalen Hurts has thrown this. He's shown this. I'm sorry. He has shown that he can beat you in the air, and he can beat you on the ground. Now, the thing that happened last year, and that was kind of annoying to me, is because we got DeAndre Swift. So my logic is, if you're gonna pay this man all of this money, the 250 million or whatever his contract says, if he is our franchise quarterback, he's worth it. He earned it. But you can't put your franchise quarterback in harm's way like that. So what do? You get DeAndre Swift, who is a dynamic running back, who can catch the ball, run with the ball, pass blocking is suspect because he's a small dude. So what you do is all of them RPOs where he was running 10 to 15 times a game, you got to cut that in half. And some of those runs you got to give to the running back, and we never did that. Now, what happened was when his knee was hurt, it was very clear that he couldn't move. He couldn't get out of his own way. If you look at a lot of the sacks that happened on Jalen last year, 22, he was breaking out of the pockets and gone. And I think his knee injury was worse than he let on, and he protected himself, and he was still winning games. But I think they messed up on the opportunity to really utilize DeAndre Swift, and they just didn't do it. Now, to your point, you are correct. He missed a lot of passes. And there was a lot of things I just thought was just plain old wrong with our offense last year. Just wrong. The lack of motion, the lack of shifts, and the lack of a screen game just, to me, didn't make any sense. Because I'm a big play action guy. I'm an old school running back. I'm a traditional running back. When I was in college, I might get that ball 15 to 25 times a game. My best game in college, I carried the ball 37 times for 300 yards against Marshall. So that's how I grew up. And then when I got with the Eagles, I was with Herschel Walker and James Joseph and Randall Cunningham. And so I understand what it means to have a running quarterback, a mobile quarterback. I was with the ultimate weapon, bro. He was my teammate. So, and I had Herschel, 6'2", 225 pounds, that could run a 4.3. I was with that dude. So it's all about the offense that you're running. If you look at Randall Cunningham, you look at his time in Philadelphia, and then you go look at what happened to him when he went to Minnesota. If Randall would have had that type of offense in Philadelphia, he'd have been in the Hall of Fame already. So my thing was last year, I want to see true play action, because in my opinion, RPO runs better off of play action. And I'm not talking about the play action from gun. I hate it. I hate when you run a fake and the running back's going east and west. That's a running back thing. That is a bias of mine. I am a downhill running back. I don't want to run east and west because it's too hard to change direction and go forward. To be successful running east-west, that means you got to run all the way outside. You got to keep your course and just beat somebody around the corner. It is very difficult to put the brakes on and cut it all the way back when you run in east and west. When you're running downhill, you can bounce it outside. You can bounce it inside. You can spin in the hole. You can spin out of the hole. You can get caught in the hole and break a tackle and still make something happen getting outside. There's more success running downhill and then using your running back abilities. When you run downhill, if you're going to run out of gun, run out of pistol. Don't run out of gun formation. The best way you can get play action is if the running back is behind the quarterback and that quarterback sticks that ball out left or right. Because what that does, and you guys have heard, you've been listening to me for a while, you know I'm on a rant right now, that when a quarterback puts that ball out, instinctually, linebackers are going to go to the ball. And what that does is that creates space in your short to mid game and across the middle. If a linebacker takes one step the wrong way, one step equals 3 yards of separation. One step. If I'm faking over here and that linebacker takes one step in that direction, and somebody's flowing across his face, that's an open receiver. That's what you want. So play action would have been able to help Jalen Hurts. Then you can still run play action. You can still pull it and run around the end, or you can still pull it, drop back, and dump it 5, 10, 15 yards, a quick out, a deep out, or you can fake it and still take another 3-step drop. And that's just the same as a 7-step. It all depends on what you want to do. Yes, freezes the linebackers, bro. That's all you want to do is create space. And you can do that with play action as opposed to RPO, because you can run the RPO from the play action. It's a better version of it. And it helps the quarterback out a lot, because any team worth they salt, you want to stop the RPO, hit the quarterback. Hit the quarterback. You ain't got to take his head off. Put him on the ground. Now quarterbacks are so soft now, and this is across the board, because you can't touch them. They can't take hits. They don't like to get on the ground at all. They're not used to it anymore. You go back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and the 2000s, and you look at some of them hits the QBs used to take. They used to get flabbergasted out there. And they would get up and throw the ball. Get up next play. Now you can't touch a quarterback. So when you get that opportunity, you either got to push him down, but put him on the ground, because now it seems like quarterbacks are just not used to being on the ground, to the point where they get irritated if somebody tackles them. So if you are a defense, the best way to start the RPO is whatever the fake is, screw the fake. Hit the quarterback. If it looks like he's about to get the ball to the running back, let the running back go, and you scheme it up so your linebackers or your defensive ends and tackles are there for run defense. But your edge rusher, his job is to hit the quarterback. Don't worry about the fake, because eventually something's going to happen. The law of averages says if you put your quarterback on the ground too many times, look at Chicago. Don't forget about Chicago that year we went to the Super Bowl. It was 24 degrees out, and Jalen Hurts ran the ball 18 times. What the hell are you doing? Give the ball to your running backs. Give the ball to the people you pay to run the ball. That was my biggest issue with Brian Johnson. Get the ball to the running backs. Let them run the ball. We don't have to do the RPO. We don't need to do that. You can still do it. You just don't have to do it as much. And then what that does is that makes running the RPO that much better, because you're used to handing it off. Here comes Saquon. Kenny Gainwell. Here comes Saquon. Oh, Jalen Hurts pulled it, went around the end, first down, gain of 15 yards. And he didn't get tackled. He ran out of bounds. That's what you want. You do not want your quarterback on the ground. So what do? You minimize the chances of him taking a hit like that. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. If you run a true play action pass, I am praying that Kellen Moore will use Jalen Hurts from under center more. You don't have to go 100%, but put him under center more, because that, again, play action is better. And you got to respect Saquon Barkley now, because he's 6'230". He's 6'230". And all that's going to happen is one time that edge is going to come up. Let's counter what I just said about the edge hitting the quarterback. The edge has to come back, so they put a hit on the quarterback, and he gives the ball, and Saquon bounces outside, gain of 15. So the next time we're in that formation, and it looks like we're running the same play, what is the edge going to do? Now we got to think. And that's why the RPO was so good in 22. They got to think. And Jalen was in a zone where he knew what the edge was going to do. at any time on a defense. Defense, offense, it doesn't matter, but mostly this happens on defense. If you can make your opponent think, if he's thinking, he's already a step behind. It's that simple. If he's thinking, he's a step behind. And I always like to use this example. I hate propping up the Cowboys, but I got to use them. And you guys have heard me say this before. If you go back and look, you look at 22, you look at last year, the Dallas Cowboys have a play where ace formation, you got one back in there. Doesn't matter if I saw it with Zeke a lot. And I believe Kellen Moore was the OC when they were running this. They would run an off-tackle dive, and Zeke would get the ball. And when they ran the play action, they ran the same play. Zeke would get the ball, and one of two things would happen. Zeke would either float out. If he's faking on this side, he would float down the line of scrimmage and kind of drift off like 5 yards into space, and he would be wide open every time. Or they run the fake they run in the fake off tackle to the right, and there would be a tight end because it would be a strong right formation. So the tight end's on the right side, you fake it to the right, and the tight end would go flat down the line of scrimmage and drift out into space. And the linebackers, once again, the linebackers would see that ball out. The linebackers would take off and flow. And that whole zone to the left side would just be wide open. And the tight end would go flat. He wouldn't go downfield. He would go flat. And then when he would get about to the backside guard, maybe, he would float out 3 to 5 yards deep. And everybody was running this way. And the quarterback would turn around. Oh, couldn't stop it. Sometimes it would be 5-yard gain. Sometimes it would be a 15, but it was always positive yards. And most of the time it ended in the first down. And we couldn't stop it. Play action. That is not a super Wile E. Coyote, super genius type play. That is basic day one football. High schools run that. You playing off of somebody's intuition, somebody's instinct. Your instinct is to get to the ball, and good coaches know how to use that against you. And that's what Dallas was doing, and we could not stop it. They would run that shit all the way down the field, and we could not stop it. And every time somebody would start floating out there, you know what they would do? Hand the ball off to Zeke. Now that linebackers are coming up, hand the ball off to Zeke. Now the linebackers are coming up. Hand the ball up, play action, wide open, left side, boop. Every time. And every time they would hand it off to Zeke, Zeke was getting 3 to 10 yards every time. He was getting positive yards. As a running back, the rule is you want 3 yards every time you touch the ball. That's why when you look at a running back's yards per carry, you want to be over 3 yards per carry, because the logic is if you average 3 yards a carry, all I got to do is give you the ball 4 times and you should get a first down. That's where that comes from. So as a running back, you want to get at least 3 yards. At least 3 yards. So 3rd and 1, yeah, give me the ball. I'm averaging 3.7 yards a carry. That's what you want to do. When I was in college, you know what my average was? 6.7. That was my career average in college. Dude, I could tote that rock, man. Don't mess with me. Now imagine, back when I was with the Eagles, imagine Randall handing the ball off to a 6'2", 215, 4'3" running back named Herschel Walker. What are you going to do? As a linebacker, what are you going to do? You got a decision to make. Fast forward to now you got 6'1" or 6'2", 230", 4'4" Saquon Barkley. That's a receiver and a running back, and he's a dynamic running back. He's got quicks and speed just like Devonta Smith. Oh, I'm sorry, DeAndre Swift. He's got the same explosiveness in hops and can spin and break out of tackles. He's got this, and arguably he might even be faster than DeAndre Swift. But now you got that decision to make. You got that decision to make. So, yeah, Bob, flip it around. Yes. Yes. But we got Devin White on the other side of that ball, who is as fast as a fast running back. Devin White is a 4.4 speed, which is absolutely ridiculous. Ridiculous. But Devin White, I can live with that. They got him listed at 6'0", 237. I don't know if he's still that big. All I know is he's still young and he's fast. And now he got a chip on the shoulder. Because everybody's asking him, well, what happened last year? Why did you get benched in the playoffs? What's up with that? And he got to answer them questions. So that's the person you want with a chip on your shoulder. And I'll tell anybody, you just don't even look at the situation with Bradbury. And we give him shit, rightfully so, because he didn't play well last year. But think about it like this. You don't just forget how to play. You don't forget how to play. And again, it comes back into the situation. Right place, right players, right coaches, the right of it. Sometimes it change. So he don't want to hear that. Devin White don't want to hear, dude, why'd you get benched? And he said it in his press conference. I'm like, I'm gonna push. And guess what? I don't see Nakobe Dean on the field. I don't see that. When Sean Desai was still calling the defense, like him or not, he still has some good games under his belt. We still managed to shut down Kansas City for a half. We still managed to shut down the Rams for a half. We still managed to shut down Miami in that track meet for a half. So Sean Desai was doing some good things. It was good until it wasn't. So even with everything that happened last year and the confusion and chaos that was going on with our coaching staff and all of that kind of stuff, I don't know what the situation was. I really don't. Me personally, again, me being an old school type player, if you look at Dan Campbell, when he was on Hard Knocks and what they was doing in camp and being physical, and he set the tone. And that is the one thing that I want to see from Nick Sirianni going into next year's camp. I need Nick Sirianni to set the tone. I don't need all of this hour and a half practice crap. Hour, 15 minutes, in and out. Hurry up. Let's get it. We need some old school, tough love, wrap up and bring the man down. We need some hitting in practice. We don't need that nonsense no more. Because our tackling last year was god awful. It was hot garbage. It was hot garbage. Inside linebacker scare me. They are not big enough to line up over the guards in 3-4. They'll need to be set in the shade too to protect them. Slant the nose guard. You're right. You're not wrong in that. But what I will say is there was a reason why Devin White went to the Pro Bowl at his position, at his size. So it's not like anything that he hasn't done before. So, and this is where I say, I trust what Vic Fangio is going to do. That's what I say. Your concerns are valid, 100%. But I've been saying this all week. Right now, with Fletcher Cox retiring, with Hassan Reddick in New York, right now, our defense is better than it was last year. I am confident in saying that. And that starts with Vic Fangio, because with Vic Fangio, our defense is immediately average. Not great. Doesn't suck. With Vic Fangio, we step on the field and our defense is average. And being average is a hell of a lot better than we were last year. Last year, we couldn't even be average last year. James Bradbury got beat on 6 plays in a row to lose a crucial game in Seattle. And our coaches were dumb enough to let it happen. After he got beat on the 3rd play, you should have been making something happen. Making a change, put somebody else in the game, do something. But they just let it go. To me, that's coaching. One of the things you got to do as a coach is to recognize when your players aren't getting it done and you got to make the hard decision to put somebody else in the game. It couldn't have been no worse if they'd have put a rookie in there and he got beat. It still wasn't no worse than a veteran getting beat. What's the difference? And Seattle knew that. They picked on him. He couldn't cover a bed with a comforter, man. He was garbage last year. And if you were an opponent and you saw how James Bradbury was playing last year and you didn't attack him, you don't deserve to be a coach in the NFL. It was too easy to figure that out. It was too easy. So, Bob, I understand what you're saying, and you are 100% correct. But once again, even with Desai was still coaching. Zach Cunningham and Nicholas Moreau had put together 5 or 6 solid games. They were balling, which was unexpected. They were balling. And you know when it changed? When they started rotating Nakobe Dean in. Nakobe Dean shouldn't have came back. Keep that momentum was going. And I say this all the time. That's where the great coaches can separate themselves in this game. The great coaches can recognize when something's not working and not afraid to pull the plug on somebody. So hopefully we don't have that situation. So I'm not necessarily worried about our linebackers. We're going to get linebackers. And I think Howie's in a situation where he understands just from his past track record the past couple years, he knows what he's doing. He'll get the right people in. And again, I trust Vic Fangio is going to put the right pieces together. And I'll say it again. Our defense right now, April 11th, is better than what we had last year. So we'll see. And we'll see what's going to happen in the draft. So, man, I've been running my mouth for almost 2 hours, dog. So I'm about to get up out of here, man. I appreciate everybody joining me. Don't forget. Number one, don't forget, smash that like. And if you are not subscribed to this channel, please do. Please and thank you. Tomorrow night, I got more faith in Howie than I. Listen, man. The last couple years, Howie's batting average has been pretty good. That's all I'm gonna say. Yes, he's got some misses, but he's got more hits than misses, and that's all you can hope for. And all I'm gonna say is, you look at other GMs around the league, and look at their success rate. You're not gonna find better. So I'm good with Howie, but I call him the Wizard of Philadelphia. Tomorrow, 9:30 p.m., Ian Cummings is my guest. We're going to have some hard draft talk. I got some homework to do tonight. He's going to be coming in because this dude is about his business. This dude sees a lot of film. He knows a lot about a lot of players. So if you have questions, Tune in tomorrow. I'm starting up at 9:30. Hopefully that'll get some of my people on the West Coast a chance to tune in. If you got questions, hit me up. Hit me up on Twitter. You can look up on my Facebook page. I got TikTok. Yeah, hit me up, man, and let me know what you want to ask. Or do what you're doing now. Jump in the chat tomorrow, and you can ask the questions yourself because he has in-depth answers. So if you are a fan of the Eagles or any other team, and you got questions about a particular player, he will have answers, or at least he'll give his opinion about it. So make sure you check it out tomorrow, 9:30 p.m. I'm going to do another mock draft after I talk to Ian, and I'm going to do another serious mock draft and kind of like we did today, really kind of get into it and try to make some real decisions. And then on Saturday, now this is out in left field, so stick with me here. Saturday, 8 a.m. in the morning, I will be live streaming. My nephew plays in the NBL in Australia. He's playing basketball in Australia, and he plays for the Goldfields Giants. So I will be streaming his game 8 a.m. So if you want some more basketball action from Australia, come on in, or you can probably ask me a couple questions about the Eagles or whatever, but we just have fun. So if you got other people, Bob, I appreciate you joining me. Don't forget to subscribe. Next time, bring a friend. And if you got people that you know that are not necessarily Eagles fans, that's okay. I can talk ball with anybody. I will have, at some point in time, I will have my boy Jason Dunn, who covers the Chiefs. I will have my boy Ron Carpenter, who won a Super Bowl with the Rams. I'm going to try to get Myron Guyton on here. He won a Super Bowl with Parcells when he was with the Giants. My boy Myron Guyton. We went to play together at Eastern Kentucky. Myron Guyton is the only rookie to ever start for Bill Parcells. So I know people that play for a whole bunch of other teams. I'm trying to get some of my people from Cincinnati. I'm born and raised in Cincinnati. I bleed green, but I was born in the jungle, and I will support that Who Dey. So if you know anybody from Cincinnati, anybody want to talk Bengals, I will do that too, man. So I jump around the league, but yes, I bleed green, but I will talk ball with anybody, man. But I thank everybody for joining in, Bob. Please don't be a stranger. Robert M, as usual. Cody K was first out the limo today. William Galbraith, the 88s, was in the building. Bow 316 was in the building. It was a good night in the chats, man. I like it when y'all get lively, man. My boy Scott Teller, that's my brother. I appreciate you, Scott. Everybody in Facebook's Gordy, William. Who else was in there? Everybody that tuned in, everybody in the Twitter space, man, I appreciate y'all. And I'm going to get out of here, man. Enjoy y'all evening. Be safe. Come back tomorrow, 9:30, draft talk with Ian Cummings, man. Don't miss it. So I will catch y'all in the next one. Go Birds.